Let us ask you this question. Have you ever found yourself stuck in the same old arguments, struggling to connect, or just that feeling that something's just off? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then this video is for you. Marriage is beautiful, but let's be honest, sometimes we pick up habits that do more harm than good. And the worst part, some of us don't even realize that we're doing them. Today, we're going to dive into 10 bad habits that slowly break down the marriage and, more importantly, how to fix them before they do.
From silent treatments to toxic comparisons, we're exposing the habits that you must break to build a stronger, more connected marriage. Stick around because, trust us, you do not want to miss this.
Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you're ready to level up your relationship, and let's get going. We are Jeff and Teresa Fields, and we have been married for 33 years, so we know a little bit what it takes to have a happy, fulfilling marriage. Now today we're going to go over bad habits that will keep your marriage from growing closer. Some of these you can fix right away. Some may take a little time. You might be surprised about some of these. Number one bad habit that's keeping your marriage from growing closer is not saying goodbye to each other and not greeting each other when you come back together again.
That's right.
Remember how it was when you were dating, how you just couldn't say goodbye? You remember those days?
Oh, yes.
So giving your husband or your wife a goodbye kiss lets them know how eager you are for them to come back. And when they come home for the day, greet them with a kiss. Don't let your kids or your dogs outdo you in their excitement.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, if they're saying, Daddy's home, and the dog's barking and all excited, wanting to play, and you're just like, oh, hi, honey. That's not a good way to greet your husband or wife when they come home.
That's right. The number 2 habit that's maybe keeping your marriage from growing closer is not speaking well of each other. Now, your thought patterns, they color your feelings, your attitudes, and your actions. Marriage has taught us how to cultivate our thought life and to speak and think well of our spouse. You want your spouse's words to speak life into you. So whether that's in a conversation with your friends, your family, or even especially on social media.
Oh, social media, yes. That's right.
We need to let our words speak life.
Yes. And it reminds me of how we see so many people on social media just complaining about a spouse or talking down about their situation. And really, everybody doesn't need to know about that. But if the spouse happens to read that or they hear about it, that's just very discouraging or feeling like you're not valued. You know, if your spouse is talking bad about you or bad about your relationship or your home life on social media, you know, they just need to come to you instead of telling other people. That would be a lot better way to handle that. So don't make that mistake of talking bad about your spouse.
Right. A third bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing closer is not giving each other alone time. Now, I love to be Teresa 24/7, but she needs to recharge her batteries. So whether it's a spa day or a time out with her girlfriends or me just taking the kids and going somewhere and just let her spend some time alone, that just so that she could just be alone with her thoughts and just take care of herself, bubble bath or a steam shower or something, just something just to give each other alone time.
That's so important. And I like to make sure that I'm not disturbing Jeff if he's studying on something or working on something on the computer. I know that he's not shutting me out. He's just having some time where he needs to think, he needs to work on something or have that special time to study or read and explore some other interests. But, you know, we do so much together. It's not a threat to our relationship at all. I know he needs alone time as well.
Now, fourth bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing closer is not prioritizing your time together. Now, time is precious. So the time that you have together, give it the priority that it deserves. So if you're together, whether you're together at dinner or together at breakfast or you're together on the couch, utilize that time for connection.
That's right.
And we see too many people, and we do it way too often ourselves. Too many people are spending their time scrolling,
Staying on their phones.
staying on
That's
social
right.
media, and scrolling. So when you're together, be together.
Right. Have time to have conversation and, get caught up for the day. And, especially if you're on a dinner date, that's a great time to have good conversation. Unless it's super noisy in a restaurant, then talk in the car on the way there, on the way back, and enjoy, just some fun time together.
Right. I heard that the average couple in the United States, they have like 4 minutes of alone time a week where they are connecting. So just, sitting on the couch and just watching TV together, it doesn't count. I'm talking about connecting,
Right.
where you're actually talking to each other and just connecting deeply with each other. So just take
Yes,
advantage.
absolutely.
Time is so precious. Take advantage of any time that you have to get together. Prioritize it.
And it helps to plan those times out. Having a weekly date, is highly recommended by most anybody we've listened to that teaches about marriage. You at least need a date night once a week. And if it requires babysitters, then it's worth that investment. Or, trading off with someone, they watch your kids when you get to go out, and you can watch their kids when they want to go out. Do something like that if you don't want to spend money on babysitting. But just make sure that you plan a date together and plan something special, maybe every 6 months, just to get away for a night. We like to have 1 or 2 good getaways for a 1 or 2 night stay somewhere, and where we can just really enjoy time together and really get connected and go deeper with our relationship.
And if you need some date ideas, drop in date in the comments, and we'll send you a free PDF on some fun date ideas, things that you
Yes.
can do together to build your friendship. Now, the fifth bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing closer is not going to bed at the same time. Now, I understand people have different schedules, and especially if you both work, and there's just really hard sometimes to get to sync up those schedules. But do your best to go to bed at the same time. Maybe one of you needs to go to bed earlier than you normally like to, but take advantage of that time. It's part of prioritizing your time. You could either read together separately or together, or you could watch a movie or watch a marriage video.
Yes,
spend that
that's really
time talking, spend that time connecting. But it's really, really important to go to bed about the same time.
That's right. That's right. Because, especially if you don't get to connect in the beginning of the day, at least you have that time where you get to calm down and talk together. That's a great time to have a devotion or pray together, and just have some time where there's more intimacy emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually that helps you just feel connected. So that, throughout busy weeks, a lot of times people don't have any connection time, like Jeff was saying. And that's very sad, because a marriage should not be like that. It needs to be a rich time.
That's right. Now, the sixth bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing closer is not enjoying frequent intimacy. 1 Corinthians 7:5 says, "Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement, for a limited time." Ladies, for the most part, men have a higher sexual drive than ladies, but 25% of marriages, the wife has a higher sexual drive. So Do not deprive of your spouse of the physical intimacy that they need. So physical intimacy is the most unique aspect of your marriage. No one outside your marriage can meet that need.
Exactly.
So it's someone else you can have conversations with other people.
Friendships.
You can have friendships with other people. But really, physical intimacy is the only part. It's the only part that cannot be met by someone outside your marriage.
That's right. And that's by God's design, because it creates such a deep connection, and it is spiritual at its core too. So, you're becoming spiritually one with someone, not just physically one. And that really is a great underpinning, you could say, foundation for your marriage, to have that, like you said, regular time together. And if not, people really do not feel like they're one. And husband and wife should feel like they are one. God said, the two become one when you become married. And this is a big, big part of it.
Right. Ladies, your husbands feel closer to you when he's physically connected to you. Husbands, your wives feel closer to you when they're emotionally connected to you. So you have to work on both sides of the
That's right.
of the aisle.
That's right.
So a good resource is any of the XO marriage resources that have great books about this subject. Dr. Kevin Leman has a book called Sheet Music, which he talks about different aspects of it and different difficulties some couples may go through.
That's right.
And sometimes you just may have to put it on a calendar. And well, it's not spontaneous that way. Well, if it's not happening spontaneously, sometimes you have to do things by intentional.
That's right. It helps to be intentional.
Number 7, the seventh bad habit that maybe cause couples to not grow together is you forget why you fell in love. Now, we've been married 33 years, going on 34 soon. And every year we talk about our first date. We go into great detail, and we reminisce about our first date. It's kind of like opening up the book of remembrance. A lot of times in the scriptures, the Israelites open up the scriptures and they had forgotten what things that God had done. They would open up the book of remembrance of the scriptures, and they would read the great things that God had done for them, and to remember them.
Right.
So look at your wedding pictures. Talk about that day. Talk about how things were when you first were starting to date.
Yes.
What you were thinking about. So we talk about our first date, which is August 22nd. We talk about the day we got engaged, which is September 12th. And we talk about all the events leading up to our wedding on October 19th of that same year. So we talk about those things. You fell in love by talking. You really did. You spent time together either on a phone or just long conversations. That's how you fell in love with your spouse.
That's right.
It helped for you to fall in love with your spouse. So continue to do that and remember why you fell in love. And if you would like some friendship builders, just drop friendship into the comments, and we'll send you a free PDF about things you can do to build up your friendship.
That's right. And it is really sweet. It just kind of rekindles some romance, like you said, why you first fell in love and all the events that led up to your wedding and the wedding day. To me, that's just super romantic. I don't know any wife that would not love to reminisce about the wedding and all of the things that went well and some of the things that were funny or kind of unexpected. It's like, we got through that, and look what God has done since then and how much we've grown. I mean, there's so much you can glean from that when you talk about these memories.
That's so good. Now, the 8th bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing is don't take the time to serve each other.
Right.
And we know that, especially when you have young kids, your schedules can get so busy, and you're just trying to get through the week.
Right.
You really are. You're just trying to get through the week, and there's so many things to do, whether you your kids are going to school or where you're homeschool. There's just so much to do.
Right.
Get yourself prepared in the morning, and get your children prepared. It just you kind of, and you get home and you try and get dinner on the table. You help the kids with the homework. Trying to do some cleaning up before you just exhausted go to bed. Don't forget to intentionally serve each other.
Right.
You need to know your spouse's main love languages. Acts of service, words of affirmation, touch, gifts, quality time. So learn how your spouse receives love, what speaks love to your spouse, and do those things. Write little notes.
Yes.
And gifts doesn't have to be something you buy.
Right.
It can be just something you give your spouse.
Do something for them without even having to be asked,
Yeah, so
just being thoughtful.
Write the notes, make their coffee, make their lunch, make the dinner, do the dishes, clean the bathrooms, just do things to serve each other. Give her a foot rub, just do.
It's one of our favorites, yeah.
Just do little things. Give him a neck rub, just little things that will just bless each other to serve each other.
That's right.
Now, the 9th bad habit that may be keeping your marriage from growing closer is you not taking the time to pray together.
Right.
Now, it's one of our main friendship builders that we have is praying with and praying over each other.
Over each other. Yes, I like that.
So it's just, Teresa, tell me what it does to your heart.
Oh my.
when I pray, especially I pray things from the scriptures over you, and pray specific things about you, about things, your dreams and your talents and things that you're going through. Tell me how that affects your heart.
Wow. At least it's reassuring, but even more than that, I think it touches me very deeply because the spiritual part of our relationship is so important to me. So if he's praying over me and praying scriptures for me and talking to God on my behalf, it's such a blessing. I mean, that really ministers to me at the very core of my being. I just feel so loved, so cared for, and God is working through him to minister to me. So that really is a blessing to me. It really is. And how about you, Jeff? How does that affect you if I'm praying over you?
My main love language is our words of affirmation. When Teresa prays for me and prays over me, she's honoring me and showing me the honor that she has for me, and that just builds me up spiritually. Now, there's 4 main areas of intimacy, and the main ones is spiritual intimacy. So that's really important. Spiritual intimacy is just as important as intellectual intimacy and emotional intimacy and physical intimacy. And as you work on one, you enhance the others.
Yes.
So you don't neglect your spiritual intimacy. You may even just read the Bible together, or read a passage together, or read a marriage book together. But besides that, you also need to be praying together.
Yes, ask God, what does this mean for us? How can we live out this scripture or this passage we're reading about? And what does this mean for our marriage or for our family? And let God show you things and tell you things and give you wisdom. I mean, we need wisdom from God for any area of our lives, especially our marriage.
Right. Now, all of these 9, these are something you can break that habit tonight. You can do the opposite tonight.
Yeah.
You can.
Start
The
making
10th one
changes.
may be a little challenging, and it may take some time. A 10th bad habit that couples may be practicing is not seeking godly counsel.
Right.
So you may be thinking, I'm just going to deal with it and just get through with it, get the kids out of the house, and then it's
right.
So those who are empty nesters, their divorce rate has doubled in the last generation. Those who are in their 60s, their divorce rate has tripled in the last generation. So it's a lot of couples are together. They have kids. They raise their kids great, and they get the kids out in college, and they discover they don't know each other and they don't like each other,
right?
And they're not friends. So that's why we talk about husband and wife are friends for life, because we want you to build your marriage by building on your friendship. So you just don't have to just deal with it and just endure it.
Right.
Seek godly counsel. It's not a weakness. Talk to your pastor. Talk to a seasoned couple who has walked through it. You're not experiencing something no one has ever experienced before.
Right.
Someone else has gone through what you're going through. So there is godly counsel out there.
Right.
So there may be, like I said, your pastor may recommend somebody. There may be a seasoned couple that you know that you can invite them over for supper and just talk to them. And not like a counseling session where it was just ask them what would they do or what advice would they have in the situation. But it's a bad habit not to seek counsel. Yes,
I think it's our society just to, like you said, you just have to deal with things, or like, this is our problem. Nobody needs to know about this, and we'll just handle it. And not knowing that, like Jeff said, there are so many resources that we can take advantage of. And sometimes seeking that godly counsel is, like you said, finding someone who has written a book or filmed a series or taught about this somewhere and done a podcast. And I'm not just talking about any podcast, somebody that really is an authority on the subject, and at least start there. But like you said, if you really are having areas in your marriage where you're just not able to come into agreement, you're not able to work out a solution, that's when you really do need to step out and say, we've got to have some help, because there are just things that we encounter today that weren't happening 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and like, we don't know what to do about this. It's a different world.
As Jimmy Evans says, you have a 100% chance of having a successful marriage. You really do. There are resources out there, books and videos and people that you can reach out to that can help you get through this phase in your marriage.
Right. Sometimes we just need mentors, people that can really mentor us and say, check on us after we've told them we needed some advice or some help, or pray for us in this area. They can check on you and just kind of keep you accountable. How's it going? Have you, worked this out? Did God show you some things to make some changes? What's going on? And we all need that. We don't need to just try to live like we're on an island, That's a good old saying, no man is an island. But a lot of times, it's just our culture. Like, we just have to be so individual that we can't reach out or let other people help us and have input in our lives. So, yes, good counsel is very important.
Yeah, so you can see none of these bad habits are uncorrectable.
Right.
You can fix all of these.
That's right.
Amen.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Join our vibrant community on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for the latest updates and behind-the-scenes moments.
Got something on your mind? Shoot us an email at inspiringmarriages@att.net. We're all ears for your questions or suggestions on how to enhance our podcast. And if you have any ideas on topics you'd love us to dive into next, let's keep the conversation going. This week's Friendship Builder. So this week's Friendship Builder, we want you over a weekend to binge a favorite TV show or movie series that you both love. Now, these can be romance, they can be science fiction. They can be classic TV.
Westerns.
They can be westerns. It can be anything that you both enjoy.
Right.
And have your favorite snacks. Make popcorn, pizza, wings, whatever you want. Just make a party out of it.
Yeah.
And just enjoy yourselves. Enjoy talking about your favorite shows or your movie series, and just enjoy it. Just having a time of connection with you and your sweetie.
That's right. It's a lot of fun. We like to quote the characters, and we know what's going to happen before it happens if it's something we've watched a lot of times. But it's still fun, and it's romantic, and just getting to enjoy that together. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Join our vibrant community on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe for the latest updates and behind-the-scenes moments.
Got something on your mind? Shoot us an email at inspiringmarriages@att.net. We're all ears for your questions or suggestions on how to enhance our podcast. And if you have any ideas on topics you'd love us to dive into next, let's keep the conversation going. Breaking these 10 bad habits may not happen overnight, but every step you take towards better communication and deeper connection is worth it. If any of these bad habits resonated with you, just drop us a line in the comments and we will encourage one another.
That's right.
So if you recognize any of these 10 bad habits, don't be discouraged,
That's
but
right.
take it as an opportunity to improve your marriage, because your marriage is worth it.
It is.
Now, check out some of our other videos where we've talked about intimacy. And remember, husband and wife are friends for life.